Oh, we're starting. Welcome to our series on all of the best places for solo travelers. Today we're going to get started with Southern California, all of our favorite places for solo travelers. So are you ready? Let's go. Okay, welcome back everybody. My name is Linda Jones. I am a 15-year industry veteran, a professional travel agent, the CEO of Crafted Travel Company, and the author of Travel Agent Secrets. And this is going to be the beginning of a tour through America where we're going to cover all of the best places for solo travelers. Now, what you will not find is all of the main cities. So for instance, we're starting with Southern California today, but I'm not going to be talking about Los Angeles and San Diego in Anaheim. We're going to be covering all of the little places that you may not have ever heard of, but are the best places to be able to see. You can still hit Los Angeles and San Diego and some of those other places on your way, but this is really about the little known, out of the way places that can make a world of difference for your vacation. Let this be inspiration for your upcoming solo travel, especially for solo female travelers, and hopefully it will give you some ideas of some really amazing places to visit in Southern California. So let's go ahead and dive in. Number 10 on my list of Southern California best places for solo travelers is the Borrego Desert. That's kind of a mouthful, but where this is located, it is a 600,000 acre desert park located about 2 hours east of San Diego. There's kind of like a badlands, cactus, rattlesnakes, you name it, but there's also oasis. And one of the places that you begin is Borrego Springs. Now, the best time to go to this area is typically in the spring, where the temperatures range between about 65 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. In the summer, it can get quite hot, well over 100, which if that's fine with you, then by all means, please go in the summer. And then in the winter, it can get quite cold. It doesn't rain or snow, but it can get quite cold. So it just depends on when you want to go. Spring is going to be the most beautiful time, but also the busiest time. I particularly like going to this area if you are very much into the outdoors, if you like hiking, if you like camping, four-wheel drive touring. They have a canyon called Slot Canyon, which is this windy with sheer rock cliff faces that you wind through in this hike. There is the Galleta Meadows, which is some incredible art sculptures made out of metal of full size. There's Chinese dragons and full size T-Rexes and things. It's pretty cool. But one of the biggest reasons that I love to go there is that it is considered a dark sky community, which means that they purposely limit their light that they allow, their lighting that they allow, so that you have the maximum view of the stars at night. Here's some pictures of some of the things that you can see. You can actually see the Milky Way and the millions and millions of stars and planets. It is incredible to be able to have a clear view of the sky without the light pollution. I cannot say enough about it. So if you are an astronomy buff at all, this should be on your bucket list for sure. Now, when you go to this area, Borrego Springs is a great launching point for you to explore the entire desert park. There are a few options. You could, of course, camp, which if you are an outdoors person, that is always highly recommended, especially at night. Sleeping under the stars would be fantastic. But if that's not really your cup of tea, the main place I recommend for you to stay is La Casa del Zorro. Now, this is a really cool desert oasis with 28 pools and spas. They have yoga, they have a fitness center, they have lawn games and giant chess and tennis and golf, and there's even a spa if you want to take advantage of that while you're there, and some really excellent restaurants. It is a really nice hotel to stay in where you can be comfortable and be close to all of the things you want to see in the desert park. It is a fantastic place to visit in Southern California. All right. Alrighty, number 9 is Ojai, California. And for this one, we're gonna zip north of Los Angeles, about an hour and a half, and somewhat up in the mountains. The best times to go here is spring and summer. That's usually the high season, though you can absolutely go there year round. Temperatures range probably over the course of the year between about 65 degrees up to 91. So it can get quite hot in the summer, but it is somewhat tucked up into the mountains. So it's a really neat microclimate where it has, you can have olive groves and wineries, and it grows just about everything. It's pretty cool. It's an what I would consider more of like an artist community, kind of hippie, old school hippie artists, but also very spiritual, lots of spiritual retreat centers. It's a small town feel, so you have a lot of local shops and restaurants, no chains really, except for a strange Jersey Mike's, but other than that, it's very much a small town feel, and it's really kind of eclectic and cool. One of the highlights that I always recommend is the farmers market. It is very much community centric, and they have tons of organic and fresh foods that you can taste. They have live music. It's a very upbeat and just a really great way that you can spend your day. It is on Sundays, rain or shine. Ojai is also, as I mentioned before, excellent for retreats. If you'd like to go on a spiritual retreat, yoga retreats, they also have wineries and wine tasting. They have olive oil tasting. They have a nearby Ojai Meadows Preserve, which is a beautiful area where you can hike, very easy hikes if you like that. Also a lot of photo ops, beautiful meadows up against the mountains. It's just incredible. My top recommendation when you go to Ojai is to stay in the famous Ojai Valley Inn. This is a luxury resort and has anything you can possibly imagine. They actually have incredible classes with local chefs and famous chefs that will come in, from regular chefs, pastry chefs, barbecue chefs. They have, honey tasting, and you get to actually get it out of the honeycomb. They have live music and movies by the pool, and it is just anything you can think of and more. It is an incredible opportunity for you to stay in Ojai. Now, because it's a luxury resort, it is a little bit higher, but well worth the price if it is in your price range. There's a ton of great options to stay if you don't quite want to go with the luxury resort. One of them is a really cool B&B that I recommend. It is called Ojai Retreat Inn, and it is a 5-acre hilltop B&B. It is absolutely gorgeous. A lot of the rooms have windows, like not quite wall to floor to ceiling, but windows from wall to wall on about 180 degrees. So it feels like you're almost like in a perch above, looking out over the valley. It is absolutely beautiful. They have a really cool deck where you can hang out and take in the view. My favorite room, if you can get it, is the Ojai Suite, and that's one of the ones that has the windows everywhere with a writing desk nearby. It is just for solo female traveler, and for any solo traveler, it is just so relaxing and peaceful, and it is a fantastic way to stay in Ojai. Number 8 is Coronado. Now, Coronado is a small island about a 15-minute ferry ride across the bay from San Diego. It's also the home of the Navy SEALs. It's where they actually go through their training each time. But what it is a small beach community that is very walkable. You can walk, it's only a mile wide. The downtown area is a mile wide and a mile long, although the island itself is actually 8 miles down. But the main area that you would be staying in is very, very walkable. Lots of really cool shops and restaurants and bars. You can go kayaking, paddleboarding. The beach, Central Beach on Coronado, was named by Dr. Beach as the #1 beach in America in 2012, but it's also still in the top 10 today. This is excellent year-round, although summer and spring, of course, are the more popular times, but feel free to go there anytime. Because San Diego is pretty temperate, it can get a little chilly in the winter, but it is still a really great place to get away, especially if you're stuck in the snow. I would never hesitate to go to San Diego area in the winter at all. So Coronado is pretty close if you want to see the sights of San Diego. It is great for either the day or for the weekend if you happen to be in San Diego and want a nice little cool place to go that is kind of away from the hustle bustle of San Diego. There are a lot of really great places to stay. Resorts such as the Coronado Bay Resort and the Coronado Island Marriott Resort and Spa, which are fantastic. I highly recommend them. But if you're looking for a more small town in the heart of the downtown Coronado where you can walk to everything that you would want to see and do, I recommend the historic Cherokee Inn. It's a small little 14-room B&B right in the middle of downtown. It's a unique vintage kind of a property. It's really cool. Built in the early 1900s and actually brought over in the early 1900s. And it is of great value. It's usually less expensive than some of the other resorts, but it is a really neat place and a really authentic place to stay when you're staying in Coronado. One of the things we love most to do in Coronado is my family and I will go down there and we'll rent bikes and go restaurant hopping. So we take the bike and we hit this restaurant for appetizers or lunch, and then this restaurant for the main course and then dessert, and then also maybe stop for this drink at this bar and this drink at this bar. It's a really fun thing to do around Coronado, which really gets you to see all of downtown and really experience it. It's a perfect day trip, but even to do it in the evenings before, if you're going to be staying for the weekend, I highly recommend it. Palm Springs is famous for being a popular weekend getaway for Hollywood's elite. And all of those old school actors that you can think of from the early 1900s, they're kind of the ones that put Palm Springs on the map as far as they would always go to the resorts there and things. Palm Springs, if you've never heard of it, is a desert community. So think laying out by the pool, think spa, think shopping at some really high quality shops, and dining. That's kind of the feel. It's kind of a weekend getaway, relaxing. But Palm Springs is also the location of the Coachella and Stagecoach music festivals every year in April. And so it can get really hustling, bustling around that time as everybody stays there as they're going to the music festival. It gets really hot in the summer, but that's kind of what people love about it. It can get over 100 degrees, but if you're just relaxing, hanging out by the pool with maybe a nice little tropical drink in your hand, or going shopping or eating, the weather doesn't seem to matter much in that regard because everything's air conditioned. One of the neat things you can do if you're in that 100-degree heat and you want to escape a little bit is they actually have a gondola ride to the top of the San Jacinto mountain range. It's only about a 15-minute gondola, and at the top there's a really neat restaurant. You can go hiking, you can go camping even. It's a really nice little getaway during the day. There's also, if you really want a cool experience, is the Air Museum. Now, this has some World War II era as well as Korean and Vietnam War era planes and things and relics from the war. But one of the really cool things you could do is you can actually get a ride in some of these warbirds. Now, it can get quite expensive for some of the more unique warplanes, but they have some that start at $99. It's a really cool way to spend an afternoon and something that you can say that you've done that not many people have ever been able to do or ever can do. One of the other great things to do is to hike to Tequita Canyon Waterfall. Now, this is just a little 2-mile loop. So it's a pretty easy hike, and it has a 50-foot waterfall that is kind of the highlight of the hike. It is on an Indian reserve, so you do have to pay for entry, but it's a really nice place to go as a nice getaway for photo ops and to get your exercise for the day. It's highly recommended. Okay, my first recommendation is the super chic, trendy Parker Palm Springs. Now, this one, I have to show you photos because I can't quite put it into words. It's kind of eclectic, very trendy, very chic. a luxury hotel with some really cool things to see and do. It's very self-indulgent is kind of the word that comes to mind when I look at it. They have a very cool spa that's called the Yacht Club. It's unique in the way they approach everything there. They have 3 pools. You can get bikes there. They have incredible restaurants and cool bars. Each one very, very unique in its look and feel. And as you can see from the photos, it is just something special just to even look at it. Even if you didn't stay there, it's really something special. So that is my first recommendation. If you, it is a little more on the luxury end, but if it's in your price range, I highly recommend it. My second recommendation is the Coronado Pension. Now this one is a mix of Mediterranean and Moroccan. In fact, they have a Mediterranean kind of wing and a Moroccan wing. And so it's a really cool vibe. All of the rooms are kind of geared towards those themes. They have a home cooked breakfast every morning. You can get bikes to be able to tour around. And one of the unique central features is their infinity pool, which was ranked as one of the sexiest pools in the world by Travel and Leisure magazine. It's really, really cool. My third recommendation is more of a rustic lodge with a bit of a digital detox, and that is called Sparrow's Lodge. So by digital detox, what I mean is there's no TVs, there's no phones, but there is Wi-Fi. So it's kind of digital detox, but not. This is a very rustic style resort or hotel because it's smaller. And what you do is you have a room with an open bathroom, kind of a floor plan with the rainwater shower heads, and it's a stone surrounding. It's really cool. And every single one of them has their own private patios. There is a continental breakfast available each day. They have a pool, they have outdoor fire pits, there's even a massage tent. It's a very kind of a rustic feel, so it's very unique. Those 3 recommendations will make your trip to Palm Springs truly special. Okay, recommendation number 6 is Idlewild. Now, Idlewild is just up the mountain in the San Jacinto Mountains from Palm Springs, and it offers a small town, cozy kind of a feel, kind of think cabins and relaxing by the fire. It is very much an outdoor kind of area, so think hiking, camping, rock climbing, mountain biking. In the pine trees. It is all for peace and quiet, little local shops, local restaurants. The average temperatures range from about 55 degrees in the winter up to about 86 degrees in the summer. It can snow there, so it can get quite cold, but actually it makes it more homey feeling and kind of, more cozy. My favorite time to go though is in the fall, where the leaves start to turn. We don't get many seasons in Southern California, so when you can get up to the mountains in the fall and experience that fall feeling, the crispness in the air and the leaves changing color, it is incredible. But one of the best things I love to do is to take my family up there, or myself, solo travel up there, and go apple picking. One of my favorite places to go is called Riley's Farm. Now, this is a place that a lot of kids go to for field trips because they will set up demonstrations where they dress in the Revolutionary and the colonial period costumes and teach the kids how the colonial people lived in those day and age. But you can go there individually as well and go apple picking, pear picking, pumpkin picking. In the spring, you can even get strawberries and blackberries and things. You can go flower picking. They have a little rustic feeling restaurant and bakery where they actually speak to you as if they're from the colonial period, and it's very old time food. And it's nestled up at the base of the mountain, so the atmosphere is just gorgeous. I love it there, and it's my favorite place to go in the fall. Now, as I mentioned, it's very much a charming small town, relaxing with tons of hiking and rock climbing and mountain biking opportunities. So one of the options, of course, to stay is to go camping, and it is gorgeous for camping, absolutely. But if camping's not quite your thing and you want something a little different, I highly recommend the Strawberry Creek bed and breakfast. Now, this one is about a quarter mile from town. It is a luxury, peaceful, kind of a cabin in the pines is kind of what I think of it. They happen to be eco-friendly, but they also have this gorgeous deck with hammock on the deck that you can relax in. They have incredible food, local, organic food that they offer for breakfast each morning. That's a home-cooked meal each morning. It is just peaceful luxury, I guess, is really all I can say. So if you're going to Idlewild, it is a very relaxing, comfortable place to stay with great food, and it gives you that cabin in the woods kind of a feel. Alrighty, so that's my first 5 favorite places to go in Southern California. Now again, I'm not covering the major cities as LA and San Diego, because you can find lots of information about those and other places, and I might do a video about those later down the road. But I wanted you to know the really cool little out of the way places that are the locals' favorites when going to Southern California. So those were my first 5. Stay tuned for our next video, which will be released in 2 days, and it will be on my remaining 5, my top 5 choices for Southern California. If you found this information helpful, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video releases. Coming after this, we're also going to be talking about top places in Central California and Northern California, so be sure not to miss it. I want to thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope you have a fantastic day and happy travels. Bye-bye.